Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, Executive Editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with another episode of Dave's Faves. And today I'm talking about Aaron Copland. You know, Aaron Copland, Appalachian Spring, that stuff. I've done roundups of Appalachian Spring, and I've talked about this particular recordings on several occasions. I think this is just a wonderful recording because it has a wonderful mix of interesting, lesser-known Copland and the best-known Copland. And it's this one. As an album, this is really just about unbeatable. It's Antal Dorati with the Detroit Symphony on Decca, in really gorgeous sound. In my talk about Dorati's 10 best recordings, I mentioned the fact that possibly because of his association with Mercury Living Presence, Dorati really cared about what his records sounded like. He had a real concern about it, and my God, this is a beautiful recording. The original coupling for the Appalachian Spring was Stravinsky's Apollo, or Apollon Musicet, or whatever it's called, And it had the most luminous, beautiful sonics. And it still does, of course. But here, on an all Copland disc, a long Copland disc with lots of different works, it's 74 minutes. You get just an incredible sort of conspectus of Copland's entire oeuvre. And it's always good to have an oeuvre on your disc. I mean, oeuvres are good. We like oeuvres. And so, we even like hors d'oeuvres. You know what I mean? And this has an hors d'oeuvre. It's got the Fanfare for the Common Man on it. I mean, not my favorite performance of the Fanfare for the Common Man because the Detroit tam-tam is a little bit lazy. I mean, I want a tam-tam that's going to go crash, but this one sort of goes, it's not my thing. And I sort of know my tam-tams, but that's okay. That's okay. I get past it rather quickly because you get a really good El Salon Mexico to start, and then you get the Dance Symphony, the early Dance Symphony, which is based on, one of Copland's early ballets like Grog, the one about the vampire that no one ever does. And it's really a cool work, fun to listen to. And it sounds actually, even though it's about a vampire and supposedly takes place, who knows, in Transylvania or something, it sounds just as like Latin as some of his Latin music does. And then you've got the Fanfare. Then you get the 4 dance episodes from Rodeo, wonderfully performed, although it's very hard to get the, beef, real food for real people, ha, 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 dum ba da dum ba da da dum, bump, 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 go eat a steak. It was the steak commercial. And, once a piece like that gets associated with an ad, it's kind of hard to take it seriously, but still, the 4 dance episodes are delightful, and then Appalachian Spring, the whole thing. So it's a wonderful, wonderful disc full of variety, absolutely fantastically played, luminously recorded. I mean, just beautifully recorded. Now, Dorati did some of this music before. He did it for Mercury Living Presence. He was a ballet conductor par excellence, in addition to being a Haydn conductor and a lot of other things. But he really, really knew this music well, and he plays it as well as anybody has. And it's very likely that people forget him when they think about Copland because he's been such a stalwart, a standby composer of wonderful other conductors like Leonard Bernstein. Leonard Slatkin's done all this stuff. I mean, there are a million versions of Copland. Morton Gould did it. Copland himself did it multiple times. He recorded Appalachian Spring at least 3 or 4 times. He did the original chamber version, then he did the suite for Sony, and then he originally did an absolutely gorgeous Appalachian Spring with the Boston Symphony on RCA Living Stereo, which is also like my next favorite version. It's just wonderful with the Tender Land Suite, I think was the coupling originally. But you're not going to get better sonics or better performance than Dorati and Detroit on Decca. You really aren't. And so if you're looking for like Copland disc, I'm assuming this is still around, which is always an assumption, or you can probably stream the individual performances. You're really going to love this Appalachian Spring. It just has all of that glowing simplicity that Copland tried to build into his works of that period. And it's incredibly memorable. So keep on listening, folks. Thanks so much for joining me for this episode of Dave's Faves. And don't forget to check out the Dave's Faves playlist, where we're up to like number 37 or something like that. We've got lots of them now. And I'm just going to keep them coming till we have like a big pile, maybe 100 or so. I don't know. Then we can slow down. We'll see how it goes. Take care.